Welcome back, everybody, to part 3 of our 3-part series on reviewing for Unit 5 math test. We are now on Section 2, Extended Short Answers and Extended Response Questions. It says, use a triangle, a rhombus, and a trapezoid, and a hexagon pattern blocks to answer the following questions. So over here, I want to notice right now that I have one triangle represents 1/4. So I got one triangle that represents 1/4. What would a trapezoid be equal to? So I want to go over here and grab my trapezoid. Here is one trapezoid. And although this one's not necessarily drawn to scale, basically what you're going to want to do is take your triangle and lay it over top of your trapezoid, and it ends up looking something like this. So if my trapezoid can be broken up into 3 triangles, where this one is a 1/4. Let me fix that just a little bit here. Sorry about that. This one is 1/4. This is 1/4. And this is 1/4. All 3 of those added together, so one trapezoid would equal 3/4. What would 2 rhombi equal? Well, this is one rhombus, and we're going to make 2 of those, and we'll set them side by side. And I can tell pretty easily that I can take that rhombus and split it into 2 triangles. And I have, again, a 1/4 here, a 1/4 here, 1/4 there, and 1/4 here. And I know that because I have 4/4, and that equals 1 whole. So 2 rhombi are 1 whole. What would a rhombus plus a trapezoid be equal to? So now, let me just erase some of this stuff here. And let's get a rhombus plus a trapezoid. So now I have something that looks like this. And I know, again, this is a 1/4 and a 1/4 and a 1/4. This is split into 1/4 and 1/4. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fourths, which equals 1 whole and 1/4 left over. So far, so good. We're doing really well, you guys. Now, again, we're going to use these problems using that triangle to equal a 1/4 to answer the next question as well. The next question says what they want us to do is to construct a figure worth 3 3/4 by using a variety of pattern blocks. You got to trace each pattern block and, that kind of stuff. I'm not exactly sure what I will do here. So let's take a look at the other page. What do I know? Well, I know that a rhombus right here, a rhombus equals a 1/4 plus a 1/4, which is a 1/2. So that's going to tell me if I can go grab a couple of rhombuses, and there's one. So there's a rhombus. That is equal to a 1/2, because remember, I have a triangle that is a 1/4 and a 1/4, and I know that that equals 1/2. And I need to get 3 3/4. So that's going to tell me to do a couple of different things. If I know that one rhombus equals a 1/2, if I have 2 rhombuses, like that, well, that's a 1/2. Sorry, this is a 1/2 here, and this is a 1/2. That equals a whole. And if we duplicate that again, and one more time, now I have a 1/2 here and a 1/2 here. That's 1 whole. And this is a 1/2 and this is a 1/2. So that's 2 wholes. So let's say we'll do this one in green. So there's 1 whole. That's a 1/2 plus a 1/2. And here's another whole. That's a 1/2 plus a 1/2. So now all I got to do is make another set of these. There's one. Whoops, not those. Let's grab this guy right here. So there's my 3. And let's just circle that one. Oh, let's make it blue. So that equals 3 holes. Now I need to get 3/4. Well, I know that one of these guys is equal to 2/4. Because remember, I can make a triangle here. A 1/4 and a 1/4. So now I have 3 2/4. So that tells me I need to get another triangle. So let's go grab a triangle. We'll try and get it fairly close. It may not be exact, but you'll get the idea. So now what I can do is take this guy, we'll move him back here, take the triangle, and move him over here. We'll kind of spin it around so it kind of fits in there pretty well. That's going to equal 3 3/4. 3 3/4. And obviously we would explain how we did it by understanding the fact that a triangle is worth 2/4, which is equal to 1/2. Well done. Now let's take a look at the next problem. We've done one like this before. We have Miss Carlin found the same pair of pants on sale at 3 different stores. Gap, Banana Republic, never been there before, and Abercrombie. And I don't shop there either, but that's okay. All the stores have the same original price. However, Gap has pants on sale for 1/3 off. Banana Republic has them on sale for 25% off. And Abercrombie has them on sale for 1/5 off. Again, we have fractions, we have percents. We need to be able to compare these 3 numbers. It says, in your answer, determine which store has the best percentage off. Well, I know that 1/3 equals 0.33 with a line over it. And I know that when I convert from a decimal to a percent, all I have to do is move that decimal 2 places over. So Gap is really 33% off. Banana Republic, I know, is 2/5 off. Let's take a look at Abercrombie. I can make 1/5 equivalent to 2/10. I make it an easy fraction because I know 2/10 is really that, 2/10, decimal point with a 2 after it. And again, we want to convert from decimals to percents. All I got to do is move the decimal 1 place to the right, 2 place to the right. And I got to add a 0 here. So I actually have 20%. That leaves me with Gap giving me the most bang for my buck, the most amount of money off, 33% off the original price. So that's probably where I would shop. And of course, you would owe and explain kind of what we did. So again, I'm trying to go a little bit quick here. And I believe this is the last question we have. Well, last 2. So Maggie's using a mix to make both cupcakes and muffins. The ingredient for the 2 recipes are shown. So here's the cupcake recipe. And here is the muffin recipe. In your answer box, find 2 things. Find A, the total number of cups of mix that Maggie will need to use. So I need to figure out the entire cups of just the mix. Use pictures, numbers, words to justify your answer. And then part 2 is Maggie has 2 cups of milk. Explain whether or not you think she has enough milk. So let's go ahead and do our example for the total cups of mix. I know that she has 1.5 cups of cupcake mix. 1.5 cups of cupcake mix. And I know that she has 1 3/4. 1 3/4. So I can do this in a couple of different ways. I can work it out like this because I know it's going to be an addition problem. I can take that stick right there to be 1, and half of that stick is 1.5. Over here, I want to do another stick that is 1. And now I need to do one that is in fourths. So it might look something like this, where this is 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, and 4/4 would go over here. So now we can take this fraction. If we're adding these, whoops, I want to grab the right thing. If we're adding these together, arg. If we're adding these two together, it's okay, you guys. Mr. Citro's in here now. He's going to help out. Mr. Citro, you want to say hi to everybody?
Hi, guys. Oh, this is a pretty good one. You know, there's also a good way to do this, too, is if you turn them into decimals, like 1.5 would be
1.5, or 1 5/10. 1 75 hundredths.
And you add those two together.
Now you just add them together. Well done, Mr. Citro. I like that. All right. So if we add, when we add decimals, remember, you guys, we said we got to line up the decimals and add them together. 5, we're going to put a 0 here. 5 and 0 is 5. 7 and 5 is 13. Is that right? 12. Ah, thanks, Mr. Citro. Is 12. And we have 1, 2, and 3. That's 3/25. So that means 3 whole cups with 1/4 left over. 3 whole cups with 1/4 left over. Well done. All right, now we want to get to our cups of milk. Cups of milk, we have 1/4 of a cup and 1 1/4. So again, I'm going to use Mr. Citro's idea. I like that. 1/4 of a cup plus 1 1/4 of a cup. Let's make them into decimals. 1/4 is 25 hundredths plus 1 and 25 hundredths. And now I'm going to add plus 25 hundredths. 5 and 5 is 10. 2 and 2 is 4. Plus 1 is 5. 1 plus nothing is 1. We have 1/50, or 1 5/10, 1 50 hundredths, which is equivalent to 1 1/2. So she has 1 1/2. She needs 1 1/2 cups of milk. She has 2 cups of milk already. So yes, she has enough. Last 2 questions. Prime factorization. Prime factorization is just making factor trees. Factor trees would be some number times some number equals 56. You can do this in lots of different ways. You can do 2 times something. You can do 5 times, or not 5 times something, 8 times something there, and you guys can figure this one out. Okay? So if we were to do, let's just go ahead and do, let me change colors here real quick. Let's just go ahead and do 2 times a number. 2 times some number equals 56. Well, I would say 2 goes into 5 2 whole times with 1 left over. 2 goes into 16 8 times. So 2 times 28 equals 56. And I want to break down 28. You can do it again. 2 and 14. And then we would break down 14 by saying 2 and 7. So 56 is going to equal 2 times 2 times 2 times 7, or 2 to the 3rd power times 7. What is a product of, number 15, what is a product of 2 to the 3rd power times 3 to the 2nd power times 4 to the 2nd power? Well, let's break it down like this. 2 to the 3rd power really means 2 times 2 times 2, which 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8. 3 squared, or 3 to the 2nd power, means 3 times 3, which equals 9. And 4 squared means 4 times 4, which equals 16. But I'm not done yet. Now, because I'm multiplying here and here, I have to multiply. 8 times 9 times 16. I hope you guys enjoyed the review. I hope you actually watched the videos. Have your quiz in front of you, have your pretest in front of you, and be ready to go on Monday if you're in period 2 and 5, and on Wednesday if you're in period 2 and 5, and on Tuesday if you're in period 2 and 5. Sorry, and Wednesday if you are in period 1. Have a great weekend, everybody.